Right there where those two poles are, that one right there with the orange and that one right there with the orange is where my property starts. Welcome to Traveling with a Gramkracker. I'm glad you come along today, and today we're going to take a little trip down to some property that I just purchased that I'm going to make into a future stopover point for spring and fall. I'm not leaving the road, I'm traveling further, but this is going to be a little spot that if the government goes into another shutdown where we cannot travel because of COVID or any other reason, I have a place I can park for a bit. All right, I hope you enjoy this little tour. So come along and enjoy what we're going to do. And we're going to take the tracker, and it's nice and sunny, so get your sunglasses and come along for the ride. We'll catch you in a minute. And I'm going to cruise up slowly so you can see where it goes. So over in this area, over there, all that beyond that post on that side is my property. And this road runs right down my land and takes up about a half an acre of my property. Sit down, Jake. If you look down that lane, Jake's head's in the way. Down, Jake. Okay, he's getting in the back. Come on. Good boy. If you look down right in those trees and follow that pole all the way down, that would be the west boundary of my property. It goes all the way back 330 feet, and all these trees over here, what you're looking at, is my land. And there really isn't anywhere to get in on that property down here. There's lots of brush like that right there, like that kind of brush, and lots of deadfall like that way out there. So there isn't really any way you can drive on the land. So we're going to pull up some. I'll show you some more. All that over there to the side there, that's all my property. All those trees. Back that off. Whoops. I was going to back it off. I zoomed in. I'm driving in the little tracker, which incidentally I have chosen the name Dusty. Can you see why? I really like the name Dusty. I know a lot of you liked the Gramkracker. Most of you like the Gramkracker apps, actually. But because I am the Gramkracker, I definitely did not want confusion. And for me to call it the Gramkracker would just be confusing to me. There is a pine tree right there that would make a nice, right there, make a nice Christmas tree. That one right there where my finger is. But there's lots of those on the property. But see all the trees? It's just absolutely gorgeous. And this fence over on this side, that's a ranch. That's a 1,200 acre ranch. And that's the guy who lets his cows run loose all over the property out here, because this is all open range. But as you can see, there's a lot of deadfall out here, a lot of dead trees. I'll be using those for fencing, and I'll get a chainsaw and cut them up. There isn't a whole lot of area to park because it's so densely crazy with trees. I will be parking towards the back, but as you come down, you start to see my attempt at a driveway out here. At night it looks like a gosh darn runway because there's lights on top of all these posts. It is posted, no private property, no trespassing. But wait, just before we go in, I want to say please subscribe, which will help out the channel. It's free, it doesn't cost you anything, and the more subscribers I get, the better funding that I have, and I can do these videos. Absolutely free. So please subscribe if you have not. Hit that bell if you like this video and you want more content similar or better. Now back to our show. We had some 50-mile-an-hour winds, so I want to make sure it's all good. And this next season, I will be parking back in here. I haven't parked back here yet. So I'm heading into the sun. Hopefully you can see where we're going. It's a little bumpy because this is 4-wheel drive area. It's not really 2-wheel drive out here. Well, it keeps sticking my finger in the picture. I'm sorry. There's lots of trees. You just got to go beyond the trees and come back in this area. Somewhere back here I'm going to park. And I want to be where you can't see me from the road, and I want to be where my neighbor cannot see me. And this is probably where I'll be parking. I'm going to zoom in here. It's really hard to see, but right there where the end of my finger is, and it'll get back in focus, there's a string line there. That's the back of my property. And beyond that bush right there is a shed. And that's the neighbor's property. And I really don't want them, being able to peep into my land. Back there where you see those hills, that I believe, I don't know, but I think those are the San Francisco Peaks. I'm not positive. I don't know the area enough to determine if that's San Francisco Peaks or not. But looking from this direction, you cannot see the road, and that was the goal I had, was not to be able to see the road or people see where I'm parked. Now I'm going to have to back out of this because there's shrubs and stuff in front of me, right in front of the rig here. The window's really dirty, but there's stuff in front of me that I can't drive over. So I'm going to back up. Sorry for the bad photography, but when you're moving, it's difficult. But that's the area I want to park in, right about there. And this big dead tree is going to have to be drug out of here and moved so that I can get around here and go back to my road. And I think I have to come this way. I'm not sure. There's too many trees. You can't park in that. So there's lots of trees. I think. Now all this has to be cleaned up so I can drive Vinny back here, because Vinny is huge. I can get the tracker around, but Vinny can't get in here. I'll move those dead trees and maybe take that bush out, and then Vinny can get through there. And then there's another dead tree right here that has to be moved so that Vinny can get through. So I'll move that dead tree right there. Possibly take that bush out right there. Move these dead trees so I have a drive that comes around this big tree here. So let's try and get around this tree. So now I'm back on the drive where I came in, going over some good rocks. And then hopefully where that dead tree is, right there, that's that one I just showed you, I can come through there and pull out those dead trees. I can pull out those dead trees there and this dead tree here and be able to drive through and come back to my main drive, which is up here. And there's more dead trees over there. It's a big one. And there's just tons, and there's just nowhere you can actually park because there's so much deadfall. There's only 2 areas on the property right now where you can park, and I just showed you one that I haven't parked in yet. And see this tree here that's absolutely dead. This one right there. When I came out in August, it was green. It had all of its pine needles and all of its pine cones, and within that month it was dead. So I think something is out here killing these. The pines, the pinyon pines, are growing in the what are these called? I always forget the name of these gosh darn trees. Junipers. That's it. And they're growing together, and I'm not sure if the junipers are killing them, but I seriously doubt it because other ones are growing together. Anyway, back to my road. And now we're going to go this way, and we'll go in where I parked this last summer, because this last summer I was down here checking out the land and making sure everything was great, and came down here and parked over here in this little hole right here, which is absolutely a beautiful place to park. However, the road is right on the other side of those trees, and parking in here, well, okay, I'll show you how far the road is. See that little orange fence right above my finger there? I can't get any closer, but that little orange fence, that's the corner of my property, and you can see that from the road. And when you're out on the road, you can absolutely see my van and all what we're doing, and it's just too much exposure for people coming down. That, you know, I want a little more privacy than that. But these 2 areas here will be for guests to park when I have them here, because they're nice and flat. You know, I'll have those all cindered in one of these days, because cinders cost a fortune. But I'll have all this cindered in so that people can come in here and park and not disrupt all the, you know, the dirt, and so that it's not so dusty and dirty. But it's real close to the road. You can see those flags there. That's the road. And over here, just beyond those shrubs, that's the road. You know, you see that orange fence back there? That is the road. And that's too close for comfort for me. So I'm going to back up again. I don't want to run over my lights. But I had parked Vinny right here this summer, and this is where I was parked most of the time. When I emailed you and it was so hot out here and I got the shingles and I was sick, this is where I was. You see these poles with the orange? That is the property boundary. That's the back part of my property boundary. And if I zoom in over here, it's real hard to see, but that right there, let it focus, that right there is a pole. And it'll go back in focus. You see that orange tipped pole there in the center of the screen? That is the property line. And over there is my neighbor's property. My windshield's so dirty. It's so dusty out here. But there's nice views back here. But there's very nice views back here. And it's kind of flat back here, so we can park back here too. But we're on the edge of the property. So, you know, we could be encroaching on my neighbor's privacy. And I don't want to do that. Anyway, and see these bushes right here, this particular bush is, we've given it a name, but I really can't tell you the name that we've given this bush because it's a pretty bad name. but this bush has nothing but stickery leaves on it, and they stick in the dog, they stick in your shoes, they stick in your carpet. They're really a pain in the butt. But anyway, I have them. Aja has them on her property. My understanding is when they bloom out really pretty. And so we've got the pinyon pine, and then back there you can see some of the hills in the back. That's the San Francisco Peaks for sure. So this is pretty much it. Turn this thing around. So right out there is where I camped this summer, in that flat area, and out here is my drive going out. Like I said, that's the area that looks like a runway at night because of all the lights. But I like the lights because it looks like somebody lives here, and looks like somebody's staying on the property, hopefully, and I don't have to deal with squatters, hopefully. But this is my drive going out to the west, or east, excuse me, to the east. Sign right here that said no trespassing? No, I didn't. I put this fence in because I had neighbors that were cutting across my drive, going down here around that tree and going into that gate down there, and I'll take you down to that corner, and I put that there to stop them. They already have enough of my property with this road. It takes a full half acre. They don't need to drive on anymore. Now right here is the end of my property. There's one stake there and the one stake there. That's the edge of my property. That is 660 feet across the front, 330 feet to the back, and then 660 across the back. That's 5 acres of land, with half an acre used for roadway. So here's where they're turning into this fence right here, which states right on it, private property. That's a 1,200 acre ranch. There's horses and cattle in there, and they don't want anybody in there. I don't blame them, so they don't need to be on my land. You see trash out here on the ground. That's another pain in the butt. Somebody threw a bottle out here. It may have been here a while. But anyway, you can see that little orange post. I think you can. Not sure if you can. It's by the big tree. That's property boundary as well. Bring you up here. See the two posts that are the property boundary. They've got the orange on them. And if you look down there on the other side of that tree, you'll see the little orange posts going all the way down in those trees, and that's the east edge of my property. Well, now you've had a good look at what the property looks like. It's all trees. Very nice, beautiful place with just tons of trees. Deadfall that can be very much used for firewood, fencing, you name it, it can be used for lots of things. Here's my runway. I will eventually fence off this whole front end and fence off the back end. I'm more concerned with the front end than I am the back, so I will be fencing this. Now I'm heading west out of the property area. You'll see all the trees. There's a lot of dead ones in there, a lot of live ones. We're still looking at the property yet. And lots of pine trees, pinyon pines, junipers. And here's the post. We're now leaving the property. We'll see you in the spring. Well, I hope you liked that little tour of my property. And I think at this point I'm calling it Gramkracker Acres, and that's another reason why I didn't call the tracker a Gramtracker, because I've got Gramkracker Acres, and then Traveling with the Gramkracker is my YouTube channel. I will be posting information on how I acquired the property. It was through a tax lien sale, as I've told you, and when I get all that information together so that I can tell you it in a easy peasy manner, then I'll go through that. But it'll take longer than this video is taken so far to post all the information about that, because there is lots of land out in this area that people can go and purchase, and other areas as well, other states. Each state, I'm sure, is different on how they do things, but all I can tell you about is how this county and how Arizona does it. So it's different county by county as well. Thank you for coming along on that tour and taking a ride with us today, and I hope you liked it very much. And thanks for subscribing. If you haven't, remember, go subscribe. Those subscriptions help me out, and it helps this channel out, and it's absolutely free to you. So please go and subscribe. Ring that bell, give us a thumbs up, and let people know about the Gramkracker. So one more time, follow your heart, embrace your dreams, and cherish your life. And get out there and do something fun today. All right, we thank you very much again for coming along. We'll catch you later.